Good evening and welcome to Coffee Talk. Hello, Bud Files, KP Heathen, and Die Bullfrog 79. How are y'all doing? Joseph Moore, how's it going? Please leave a like to support the channel, it'll be greatly appreciated. Hope everybody's doing well this evening. Utah Mike, how's it going? 5 in the house, 2 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. Oh, I'm feeling better. Trying to get my batteries recharged. Melinda Elliott, how are you doing? I will tell you, when you get sick, and I was sick for a period of right at 2 weeks. I don't know. When you work with kids get everything. They touch everything. They put everything in their mouth. They touch handles and they put their fingers in their mouth. They get sick and they still come to school. Pre-retirement days, welcome. They get sick and they continue. You know, they'll come to school sick. Their parents will send them to school sick. They don't want them to stay home. They'll come in. They'll be coughing. They'll be sneezing. You're in a room, even though my room is pretty good sized. Germs. This social distancing stuff, where during the pandemic they were saying you need to be 6 feet apart for social distancing. And then if you actually look what the actual recommendations were, it said 15 feet. And then the other thing is, you're in an enclosed space. So as you breathe and as you cough and as you sneeze, it goes all over the place. Even you might be sitting 20 feet away from them, 25 feet away from them. But if you do that for the whole day, guess what? At some point, you're going to breathe in whatever they've got. And then everything's got an incubation period. So you think, okay, somebody sneezes, somebody coughs, and you think, okay, well, you catch it, you breathe it in, and it takes a while for it to work its way into your system to the point where there's enough of it where you start feeling bad and you get an infection. Then you got the point where you are sick and you start taking medication, and then it takes a while for the medication to take effect. So as you start getting sick, you start your feeling, your energy level, your appetite, something's wrong. And then once you get to the point where, okay, well, you take a COVID test and you're negative for COVID, and then they say, okay, you got the flu. So then they start giving you, and mind you, the flu is a virus. And so it's not like, okay, we're going to give you antibiotics for the flu. They have certain medications like what they call Tamiflu, which is a prescription medication. They'll give you that. They'll give you something for your runny nose. They'll give you something for your sore throat. They'll give you an inhaler, probably. So they'll give you something other, like put up your nose and take a couple of puffs up on it several times a day. And the old saying goes, starve a cold, feed a fever. The Black Widow, how are you doing? So they say starve a cold, feed a fever. And honestly, when I got sick, I didn't have an appetite. I mean, for several days, I ate a little breakfast. And that's all I ate the whole day. I drank a couple cups of coffee, and then it was like water, liquids, water. Um, that was it. And as I started feeling better, because if I tried to eat a lot, I feel worse, and sometimes I'd throw up. Like you eat, you don't want to eat, they're forcing you to eat, and you want to upchucking. So the old saying goes about starve a cold, feed a fever. Well, some of that's true, but it's the individual. It really is individual. Mom of 4 boys. I'd like to shout out a friend that I follow. I look at Social Blade. I'm producing very little content. I basically produce a couple of shorts a day, and mostly related to what I'm eating right now. And I've done a few community wall. I've been trying to put community wall posts up to let you know whether I am or am not going to do a live stream. I've tried to post it. So I did not post today. I was going to try to come in and do a live stream. The last live stream I did was at the end of this last month. So the last 5 days, this is the first one I've done this month. We're on the 5th. This is the first live stream of this month that I have done. And I will tell you, I wanted to shout out one of my friends his channel's really been growing, and he has been contacting me, and he keeps up with me. He's praying for me, my health. My friend Dave from Georgia, and he goes by Yoda, Vintage Americana. Now, traditionally, we both have channels. We both will be active in our channels. He does cards mainly. He does a lot of shout-out stuff to people that he knows. He does a lot of card videos. He used to give out cards and such. He'd do periodically where he'd do do a questionnaire type thing, and you get the question right, you may get a card from him, and he'd mail some of those cards out. Collector's cards, baseball cards, basketball cards, whatever. And I traditionally was a couple of hundred subscribers ahead of him. Well, I went for a period, like I was at 1,500 subscribers in early January. I was over 1,500 subscribers in early January. I could have monetized back in early January. I was over 4,000 hours. I had over 1,500 subscribers, and I was ahead of him. And as we were both growing, I'd stay about 200 ahead of him. Well, between January and here we are, I just recently hit 1,800, and I am going to be doing an 1,800 subscriber giveaway. I've already got my list. I went through it. There are 15 channels that qualified. I will make sure that I post who those channels are, and I will shout them out in the video that I'm going to make, and I'll link them on my community wall. I just really haven't had the time or energy to do it recently. But they're going to, and they're going to get. I'll do a drawing. It'll be one of those people, and it'll be a nice box. and then I'll continue with the boxes that I'm planning on giving. Like I had said that Little Lone Prepper will be the next one to get a box from me. Anyway, and I know this is a long story. Dave has grown about 1,000 subscribers in the last month. I don't know what's going on with him. We've talked a little bit about it, but he's been growing by leaps and bounds. And he deserves it. He went for a period of time where he wasn't growing. Same way with me. He went for a period of time where he was not growing. And then all of a sudden his channel just took off. And he's at like 3,000 subscribers now. He was at about 2,000 subscribers, and he was about 200 subscribers ahead of me. So he went from being 200 subscribers behind me to running along about 200 subscribers ahead of me. In the last month, I've picked up 30 subscribers maybe in the last month. He's picked up over 1,000, so I wanted to say that. And I have not been looking to see who's in here or who's making comments, so let me run back through some of the comments. Uncle Al keeps talking about care. It's important to care. Joy. Hello, Joy. Please leave a like to support the channel, Joy. Let's look at Joy's channel. Go to channel. Oh, Joy's got a huge channel. She has done some, she's helped me. I'm going to subscribe her on my backup channel because I'm using my phone and I'm on my backup channel. Let me switch over to my main channel. And then I will give Joy standard moderator. Come on. Here we go. Now I can get into it. Here we go. Where are you, Joy? Joy? Okay, here we go, Joy. Add as a moderator, standard moderator. Okay, Joy, you are now a standard moderator on my channel. I appreciate you. Joy really helped me out. She shouted me out on one of hers, and she's got a huge channel. She's got like 13,000 subscribers. She shouted me out on one of hers, and I picked up like 22 new subscribers from her shout out. People just started subscribing me. And in a period of 24 hours, I picked up 22 new subscribers. So thank you so much, Joy. I appreciate it. Hello, Little Lone Prepper. Welcome. So I'm going to run down a list. These are the people who left me, I got supportive comments in the last 5 videos from them. Yota Vintage Americana, Buying Space, KP Heathen, Mom of 4 Boys, Devil Dog Prepper, Ed's Mundia, that would be Gina or Jules of Gina. Ed's Mundia, she's got multiple channels. Melinda Elliott, Hillbilly Josh, Lady Dark Gaming, The Black Widow's Web. I guess she fiddles with her channel name. Idaho Garden Girl, Unkael, Die Bullfrog 79, and Little Lone Prepper. Those are the 15. So one of those 15 is going to be the 1,800 subscriber giveaway. Holly Ivans. Hello, Holly. So, we had the Black Friday. And Black Friday went on for about a week. Actually, it went on through the 30th. I ordered, they had 4 cases of APAC, 12 meals in a case. 4 cases of APAC for $150. I ordered the 4 cases. You could buy 1 case for $50, or you could buy 4 cases for $150. I thought it was a really good deal. I already had a couple of cases of APAC sitting in here. I ordered the 4 cases. So I ordered that on Black Friday. I thought it was a really good deal. I ordered another box of Moores, the modular operational ration enhancements. I ordered another box of those. I use a lot of like the Coffee Mate, so I ordered another 100-pack of Coffee Mate with sugar. I ordered freeze-dried coffee. You can't get by without coffee. I will tell you. If SHTF happens, you better have plenty of coffee, creamers, sugars, or artificial sweeteners, whatever you like. You better have a means to heat that coffee. In SHTF, if you want to survive, the bare minimum, you've got to have a means when the power is out to be able to heat boil water to reconstitute refrigerated or freeze-dried food, or to make hot tea or hot coffee, or for cleanliness or for whatever. You better be able to heat water to make coffee. I will tell you that. Yes, I try to stay out of a lot of the news and the politics and various things, but we may have the San Andreas Fault going off. There have been 3 or 4 fairly powerful earthquakes out in California near the fault. I think there was like one of them was a 7.1, 7 point. They're worried about the possibility of a tidal wave, or what you call a tsunami, on the West Coast. The San Andreas going off would be like a 9. When the San Andreas Fault goes off, it'll be like that Japanese earthquake that happened a few years back, where it was like a 9.1, and it actually moved the Earth on its axis. That's how powerful it was. It actually made a minor adjustment to the Earth's orbit on its axis. San Andreas going off will be something like that. So that's out there where Uncle Al is, and I'm sure he's probably, I know he's concerned. So when he jokingly says, "Oh, it's a boring day," no, it wasn't a boring day out there. It was a very exciting day out there. We just, your other parts of the country, you don't feel it. Those are huge, but they're localized huge. And then all the people who remember all the stuff going on out there, and all the socialism and all the blue pill and all the trouble with what's going on out there. They're like, it would be horrible. Could you imagine if there was like something other happened to Los Angeles and San Francisco and those big blue cities? It would be horrible. Horrible. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of talk about drones. Well, people can buy drones. They're at the point where people can afford drones, and they have cameras. Like a lot of times you can use them to shoot video or shoot stills or take pictures. You can program them to fly over stuff. Um, you can get some real good footage of it. I mean, there are people. I know somebody who likes drones, who has has some fairly nice drones. And I mean they really work well, and um, I mean they get real good footage with them. It hit the coast fault. Yeah. Uncle Al, in all seriousness, I pray that you're safe. I pray that your family's safe. I pray that you're somewhere where there's some elevation. So if there was some sort of storm surge or uh, tidal wave or tsunami or whatever, that you'd be protected from it. You'd be protected from it. Earthquake, yes. Yes. Um, my daughter had sent me a text message about that there'd been 3 earthquakes in California this afternoon. You're 500 miles away from the coast. That's good. Well, that San Andreas fault runs along up and down along California. If you look at where the fault is, it's a little bit inland. The actual fault is a little bit inland. And what they're saying is if the big one ever hits, it would probably cause a split, and you'd have water in between where the fault was. If you get the big one, you'll have water rush in, and you'll have land, and then you'll have like little islands, in Los Angeles and San Francisco, that are the 2 biggest cities out there. They would take the biggest hits. They'd take the biggest hits. But depending on where you live, so that would be a massive SHTF. That would be like Teowaki for those people. The end of the world as they know it. And FEMA would try to help them, of course, but it'd take a while for FEMA to get there. So, if there was a warning for a tsunami or a tidal wave or whatever, you get a little bit of a notice. What do? Well, you move to elevation. You get away from the beaches, you get away from the coast, you move up into elevation. I live like 21 miles inland from the Gulf of Mexico. Where I live, I'm at an altitude of a little over 100 feet. So I am a little over 100 feet above sea level where I'm at. You would want to get away from the coast area. You would want to get up into some elevation, because what happens if you get a 30, 40, 50 foot tidal wave, tsunami or whatever. You don't want to be anywhere along the shore. You don't want to be anywhere in low-lying area. You wouldn't want to be anywhere around that. And you could theoretically have a lot of loss of life. Food, forest, permaculture. Hello, Howie. I was over visiting Howie's channel recently, and he was doing a stream. If you're not subscribed to Howie's channel, I would encourage you to subscribe to Howie's channel. You live at 4,500 feet up. Yep. Fish tomorrow, 8,000. God bless you, Mike. God bless you. $12 in the house, 11 likes. Please, if you would like to support the channel, be greatly appreciated. So as I was saying, when you can get deals, that's when you buy. Make a list. Get an inventory. Get an inventory together. This is what I have. In an emergency, this is what I have. What do you need? There are needs and there are wants. Everybody might want, I want 2 dual fuel 2,500 watt generators. I want them to run on propane. I want them to run on gasoline. I want to be able to alternate them. Power goes out, fire it up. I've got my refrigerator and my freezer plugged in. When one runs out of fuel, I let that one rest, and I kick in the other one. So you alternate them. And they'll run for 7, 8 hours, 10 hours, depending on your fuel source, depending on how much power you're drawing from them. Run them on economy. And you can have a real nice setup for $1,000, $1,200. And you got to periodically you got to service them. You've got to change the oil. Make sure you keep track of how many hours you run them. Every so many hours, you got to maintain them. Got to do oil change. That's the life of your generator. You can also say, man, I want a large power station. Lithium iron battery power station with a 2,000 watt inverter. And in an emergency, I'm going to plug that thing in, and it's going to run my fridge. It's going to run my freezer. And I'll run it off solar. Well, I hate to tell you this. That 2,000 watt is going to run down, and it might run it for like the equivalent of one cycle with one generator. If you're drawing a lot of power and it's running power, you're not going to be able to keep the thing going. Oh well, overnight it basically did it charge during the day? How much solar panel wattage do you have? If you're really going to use a setup like that, you got to have something other with some spare batteries. Okay. You start talking about wattage or watt hours. You better have a bunch of lithium iron batteries chained together, and you better have a lot of wattage up on the roof to recharge them, because you're going to be using a lot of wattage. The inverter is going to be using wattage just on idle if you're using the pure sine inverter. Now, I will tell you this. The most economical way to run things and to have a setup that I have found based on what I am doing is to have 100 amp hour lithium iron batteries chained, 12.8 volt batteries chained together. You've got to have enough solar to charge those batteries. So for each 100 watt or 100 amp hour battery you have, you need 400 watts of panels. You want to recharge them? You think about, well, I'm going to have 3.5 hours of sun during the day that I can really count on. Okay, so you have a 12.8 volt battery. That's 1,280 watt hours. You use that overnight. You run that battery down overnight. The next day, you need 400 watts with a good 3.5 hours charging. So for one 100 amp hour battery, 400 watts of solar panels, figuring 3.5 hours. Well, if you figured 3 hours, that'd give you about 1,200 watts for 3 hours. MPP charge controller, and just anticipating it's going to be, you're going to have sun all day long, but you're not going to have the intense sun that you need. So I'm just figuring that over the course of that day, you get, say, 1,200 watts out of it. Say 3 hours, you get 3 hours, that's 12. You need the 1,200 watts. You need to charge 1,200 watts. You need 1,200 watt hours charged. That's for each 100 amp hour battery. If you've got 3 100 amp hour batteries, which you'd be looking at 3,800, right at 3,850 watt hours, then you're going to need 1,200 watts of solar panels. That would be the equivalent of 12 100 watt. Like if you just got 100 watt hour solar, 100 watt solar panels, you can get like 300, 400 watt solar panels now. But let's just say, old school 100 watt solar panels. You can get a set of 4 of those for under $200. Well, you're going to need 3 sets of those, and that's going to be a little over $600 for your solar panels. And then you're going to be paying right at $200 a piece for those 100 watt hour, those 12.8 volt, 100 amp batteries. So you want 3 of them, then you better have 1,200 watts of panels. You better have 12 100 watt panels, because you'll need those things to put out 3 good hours to recharge those 3 batteries if you burn them down overnight. Now, I'm not saying you're going to burn them down overnight, depending on what you're running, but that's rough math. That's rough math. And yes, You don't get as good as you don't get good solar in wintertime as you do in summer. You get a lot less solar in wintertime than you do in summer. The other thing is, if you're someplace where it snows, you can't afford to have those panels covered. Snow covering the panels, you're not going to be getting anything out of them. Got to keep them clear. Wood stove sounds good. Sounds good. Bad math. Uncle Al, I'm basically just doing it off the top of my head. I'm not doing it with the pencil and all. I can calculate for you, but I can tell you that to recharge a 100 amp hour battery, which is 12.8 volts, that's 1280 watts, 1280 watt hours, you're going to need 400 watts of panels. And you're going to need to generate 300 or 3 good hours at full charge. At those panels putting out 100 watts, or taking in 100 watts. You need a good 3 hours to charge 1200 watts. And over the course of the day, and you may get more than that, you may get less than that. But I'm just telling you that that's the rough math. And that is the rough math. Yeah. I've put a pencil to it in the past. I have put a pencil to it. Also, I used a watt meter. So like, plug this in, and if we're talking 110, my Bouge RV compressor driven refrigerator freezer, and I keep the thing running at about 31 degrees both sides. In a 24-hour period, it used 0.274 kilowatt hours. It used 274 watts. Now, that's basically a 12-volt refrigerator freezer. And it's not drawn anywhere near the power that a 110, a normal 110 would be drawing. And if I was basically going to be running stuff for an extended period of time, I would be running a couple of those compressor-driven refrigerator freezers. And I may use part of it as freezer space, but probably I would just be using it for cooling. I would have milk and bottled water and tea and sodas or whatever, cheese, butter, stuff that you gotta keep refrigerated. That's what I'd have in there. And I could keep stuff like that running 24/7 with what I have set up. Mike Crusher, welcome. How are you doing? I watched one of your recent. You try to keep track of your stuff, Mike. I do try to keep track of it. And it may have been a few days ago, but I watched your latest, unless you put up something other just since then. But I watched your last review. I left comments, and I thought it was a really good review. I enjoyed it. And also you start reviewing stuff, and well, it didn't come with this, it didn't come with that, so we pull out extras. And that's basically the way things would be, is you'd be using extras. So as an example, if you were to open up a case of humanitarians or a case of Apex or a case of something that doesn't have beverages, have your own beverage powder. You know, have your own coffee. Have a creamer with it. Have artificial or sugar with it. Have a fruit punch or a lemonade. Put them all in a little Ziploc baggie. Don't count on those FRHs to work. I mean, Apex come with FRHs. Don't count on them to work. You know. And have supplements. You can mix and match, pick and choose. Have supplements. We don't use stuff, save it. You don't eat the whole MRE, save what you don't eat. Have extras. So, 9 in the house, 14 likes. 29 degrees. We have yet to have a freeze. It has got down into the low 50s here in Victoria, Texas. I've had it in the low 50s. It's been rainy the last couple of days. We've had some rain. We are out of hurricane season, thank God. Hurricane season ended with November. And I think we're doing pretty good. The trees are shedding leaves. You're entering winter. Winter's coming. Winter's here in some places. So you have to be able to anticipate what's going to happen. No, you don't have to be clairvoyant, but you have to plan for stuff. Periodically, everybody will have a power outage. Things happen. Somebody hit a transformer down the road and blows your power for a few hours. Something happens. Old equipment goes dark for a few minutes. They do brownouts. Massive power draw, not enough, so they got to spread a brownout. You'll get a couple hours out here, you'll get a couple hours out there, we spread around. Everybody shares the pain. You know, it happens. There are places where they get like 2 hours of power a day. When you got that 2 hours of power, wash your clothes. Dry your clothes. Make your meals. Do your cleaning. Get your water heater hot. Take your hot bath. You got to plan for stuff like that. There are places where that happens. Right now in Cuba, their power grid is poop. They depended on Russian oil. They depended on Colombian oil or Venezuelan oil. You know, they depend on socialist oil. When they stopped getting it, all their equipment's really old. It was built back in the 50s, the 60s. Hasn't been updated. At that time, they got all the oil they needed. Now they're not. They've got serious problems with their power grid. They don't like to talk about it. But they have some serious powers. And we're sticking it to them right now. Kerosene here is good for cows, good for Uncle Al. Great Uncle Al kerosene. You know, kerosene lanterns. I can remember back when I was a child, my parents had old school lanterns. There's a hurricane or something, no power, they light the lanterns. As long as they got fuel, as long as they got wick, always need to have some spare wicks. It is what it is. 10 watching, 15 likes. Thank you. So for those of you who recently came in, I have been recovering from the flu. I had the flu for the pre, the main, the follow-up. It's been right about 2 weeks. I took a COVID test, which I was negative for. I've never tested positive for COVID. And they gave me Tamiflu, which is prescription. They gave me wrote me several prescriptions for stuff. You don't take antibiotics for the flu. And I felt like crap. It was like low batteries. All you are is low batteries. The whole week that I was off, I was sick. I was sick the last couple of days before school got out. It was just building up. It was like the start of, getting ready to hit me hard, then it hit me hard. And I went back Monday, and I was still on low batteries. I've been on low batteries that whole week for 10, 12 days. And you've taken all the medication, and you're still trying to treat like the cough. You're still trying to treat the running nose. You're tired, sleeping a lot. I did 2 live streams last weekend. I hadn't done any in like 10 days before that. And since last weekend, this is the first one I've done. So we're on the 5th of the year. This is the 5th of December. This is the first one in December that I have done live stream. Hello, Idaho Garden Girl. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you. Yeah, propane is a great backup heat source. I've got a propane heater. So as I said, I hit 1,800. So I'm going to do an 1,800 subscriber giveaway. I've got all the items. I've got to do the video. I've got to show how I do it. I've got to do the box. I will tell you the 15 channels that qualify. There are 15 channels that qualify, and I'll read it again. I read it earlier, and I'll read it again. Yoda, Vintage Americana, Buying Space, KP Heathen, Mama 4 Boys, Devil Dog Prepper, Ed's Mundia, that would be like Jewels of Gina, friend of mine from the Philippines. She's an administrator. She's a school administrator over in the Philippines. Melinda Elliott, Hillbilly Josh, Lady Dark Gaming, The Black Widow, Web, Idaho Garden Girl, UnKL, Die Bullfrog 79, and Little Lone Prepper. Those are the 15. So one of these people are going to win my latest box. And you'll be getting stuff like a nice first aid kit, in addition to all the other stuff I normally put in them. Yep, the buddy. Got 2 of these. And you can use the 1 pounds, or you can hook up a hose and use the 20 pound. Good stuff, good stuff. Good stuff. So, 12 in the house, 15 likes. Please leave a like if you have not done so to support the channel. Will be greatly appreciated. You're traveling. You're driving to and from work. The car breaks down. It's cold. Do you have a good pair of walking shoes? You got some thick socks? Do you have some stuff you can change into for winter? Let's say you're wearing business attire. You have a good heavy coat, gloves, good hat to cover your head, scarf. What do you gotta do? Some walking. Okay, we gotta do some walking. You have some good boots you can put on, or some good walking shoes. You have a carry bag with you to help you get home. A couple of bottles of water, some food, your medication. So you take medication a couple times a day. You have some of it with you. Do you have an emergency blanket? Perhaps you also might want to carry some sort of rain gear. You can get these plastic disposable throwaway rain gear. Not expensive. You need some of that stuff. You gotta have it with you. You have a compass. You know how to use a compass. You got a map. You know, you have a map of your local area. You have means of self-defense. Can you make fire? Start fire? Do you have an emergency radio? Good flashlight, a couple of flashlights, some spare batteries. I mean, all the basic stuff that, if something happens and you have something to take care of yourself for a couple of days. Hygiene products. Old school. Holly, old school. Good stuff. Good stuff. So as you preparedness, be prepared. You get yourself a notebook. Make an inventory. This is what I have. Make a list. These are things that you need. And start looking for them. Shop them. Budget your prepping. Set a little bit aside. Add to it. You find stuff, good price, on sale, not too expensive. If you have the money, buy it. Yoda, my friend, Yoda. I was shouting you out earlier, Yoda. Yoda has been growing. I am embarrassed now. He is a huge channel. He's huge now. He hit over 3,000. You would be embarrassed for me singing your praises. If you're not subscribed to my friend Dave, you need to subscribe him. He's a great man, really good man, puts out good content. You want to learn about YouTube, he's the person to ask questions to. He's really he and Uncle Al are my go-to guys when it comes to YouTube and advice and like mentoring. I mean, they really know, and they know a lot more about it than I do. So I bless both of them, and I learn from both of them. Just hit 2914, and our live church stream starts soon. I was looking at Social Blade. I was of the understanding you were already past 3,000, Dave. I mean, more power to you, son. Keep going. You know, his old joke was, I would stay about 200 ahead of him. And then he passed me, and he was like 200 ahead of me. And then there was a period of time where I wasn't growing, and he wasn't growing. And then all of a sudden, just he took off like a pew. And now he's got huge. Wear warm clothes. Wear warm clothes. It's cold. Wear warm clothes. Do I need to say that again? I don't know that I'll ever catch you. I'll be happy when I just hit 2,000. I'll be happy when I hit 2,000. I mean, I grow in spurts. Somebody will be kind to me and they'll shout me out, and they've got a huge channel, and I'll pick up a certain number of people because they were recommended to come over to me. That young lady that came in this evening that I mentioned, Joy Carrera. Joy's got over 13,000 subscribers, and I went on to her live stream. I was just looking through, and she was doing a live stream, and I went on to her live stream, and then she came onto my live stream, and then she shouted me out, and I mean to tell you, unsolicited, I picked up better than 20 subscribers in a 24-hour period. "21 degrees tonight." Man. Polar blast. That's not polar blast. Woo! Cold. Polar blast. If you have not left me a like, please leave a like to support the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. I will say this. When you're not eating, you will lose a little weight. You do a liquid diet, you will lose a little weight. You know, when I didn't feel good, the best thing I could do was to drink a nice hot cup of coffee. I don't put sugar in it, but I mean a nice hot cup of coffee with some creamer or some whitener. I'll use a couple of those little coffee mate whiteners in a nice hot cup of coffee. I'll put a couple of sachets into my cup, and I'll use my kettle, and I'll get that water boiling. I'll put the whitener in, and then I pour in that boiling water. And I mean to tell you, that's heaven to me. That is really drinking heaven. Thank you for coming, Utah Mike. Appreciate you. The snowpocalypse next week. Well, God bless everybody for the snowpocalypse. I truly hope that everybody stays warm. I would not want to go through that. I truly would not want to go through that. 12 in the house, 16 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel if you have not done so. I will be trying to this weekend. I'll try to get my I'll try to do my video. I'll put the names in a hat. I will link them to my video. I will shout them out on my community wall. There are 15 that qualified for the latest drawing. I will upload the video. I'm not going to be doing a bunch of stuff with it. You might get to see me eat a taco and talk about it, but it's not going to be that long. It might be 10 minutes. The bulk of it will probably be me loading the box. Or actually what I will do is I'll show myself unloading the box because I'll already have loaded it, and it'll go a lot faster that way. And then whoever wins, I will let you know to email me your mailing address. If you want to send me your phone number, we can talk or we can text, whatever you want. And then I will get the box out to you this coming week. And then hopefully I can get back to doing a few of my goodie boxes for people. And the next one will be Little Lone Prepper. And I promised to send her 7 or 8 of these FRHs, which I don't like because I know she mentioned she wants some FRHs in addition to other stuff that I'm put. And it's a follow-up box for her, so there'll be some different stuff in it, but it will be preparedness related. Thank you for coming, Mike. If you have not left a like, please leave a like to support the channel. I will appreciate it. When will I do my next live stream? I don't know. I may do one tomorrow, but I will certainly probably do one Saturday and Sunday. When I do live streams, I get a lot more, I guess the algorithm likes me because I get a lot more action on my shorts. And I'm down on the shorts, I'm down on my watch hours. I appreciate those of you who have been running stuff. Everybody, remember, when you get up in the morning, thank God for the day. You don't know how many days you have. Drink your coffee, take your medication, contemplate the day, say the Lord's Prayer, treat people the way you want to be treated. Remember, the Scout motto is be prepared, preparedness. Don't be a victim, be proactive. Try to plan for your scenarios, what you need to do, and work your way to where you can cover yourself. Appreciate you guys. Been a long day. God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.